Hello, it's Mr. Washahi again, and this tutorial is about finding a missing value when mean is given. So just remember, mean is also the average. What I mean by finding a missing value when mean is given, what that means is we're given the mean, the average of this set of numbers, but we're missing one of the values. Okay? So today we're going to learn how to find that missing value when we're given the mean and then the rest of the numbers. So just remember, mean, the formula for mean, or the way we calculate it, is we're going to take the sum of our quantities, so we're going to be adding the sum of our values, and then we're going to divide by the number of values added. So in essence, we're adding and then dividing. The reason I wanted to point that out is because to find a missing value when mean is given, we're going to work in reverse. So think of the opposite of dividing. That's multiplying. And then the opposite of adding, the inverse, is subtracting. If you just think about these two steps, multiplying and subtracting, that's really all you have to do when you're finding a missing value. That's the best way to really simplify it. Okay, well, let's work with our example. In this example, we know that our mean is 95. So I'm going to place that where I've got my mean, 95. Okay, let's look at the number of values. I'm going to be adding a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 values. So that means that's what I'm going to divide by. I still got to count that missing value. Let me zoom in so you can see a little better. Now the sum of our values, I'm going to start with x. I don't know what x is, so that's what we're solving for. But I do know what the sum of the other numbers are. So I'm going to rewrite them first. 91 plus 93 plus 100 plus 92 plus 95 and then plus 98. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sum those up. Let me rewrite my formula. So let me go and sum those up. That comes out to 569. That's the total of all of my previous values that I know. Alright, so again, I told you to think of just two steps. Multiply and then subtract. Because we're going in reverse of calculating mean. So multiply, well, what is doing the dividing? Because multiplication and division are inverse operations. Well, the 7's doing the dividing, so that's what I'm going to multiply by. But I got to do the same to each side. These two will cancel out. And then with my calculator, I'm going to drop this down. My calculator, it comes out to 665. So now our second step tells us to subtract. The only thing that's adding is this 569. So that's what I'm going to subtract by. I'm going to subtract 569 from each side. This will cancel out. So this tells me that 665 minus 569 comes out to 96. So that would be our missing value. That would be the number that was missing from this set of data. Okay, so just again, think multiply and subtract, the reverse of mean. Let's do one more shorter one together, and we'll get a little more practice. Okay, so let's in this case, let me give you a real life situation. Let's say we got a family of 5 with an average age of 15. Okay, the ages are 32, 29 for the parents. They got one child that is 2, one child that is 7, but we don't know how old the third family member is, or in this case the third child. So let's put them in our formula. We know the mean is 15. We know we're going to be dividing by 5 values, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We don't know x, but we do know that one is 32, 29, 2, and 7. So let's go ahead and sum those up. When I add them up, that comes out to 70. So 15 equals x plus 70 all over 5. Okay, that's going to simplify for us. All right, well again, 2 steps: multiply and subtract. I'm going to multiply by the number that's doing the dividing. So that's going to be 5. I'm going to multiply each side by 5. Okay, and that gets me 75. Then I got x plus 70. Well, now it's time to subtract. The only number that's doing any adding is 70, so I'm going to subtract by 70 from each side. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So in the end, x is going to be equal 75 minus 70. X is going to equal 5. A good way to check your work is substitute your 5 back in your values. So I'm going to put a 5 back in here. I'm going to sum those numbers up. Now I'm going to go back to calculating average. I'm going to add up my values. 32 plus 29 plus 2 plus 7 plus 5. That gets me 75. And then I divide by the number of values I've added. That comes out to 50. So they checked out. Okay, so again, just remember 2 steps. Multiply, subtract. You're going in the reverse of calculating mean. So go ahead and give it a shot.